Hey everyone, welcome to Satisfactory News. 1.0 is officially out today and Coffee Stain Studios was kind enough to provide me with a preview version early, so thank you to Coffee Stain Studios for giving me the chance to make these videos before the release. While a lot of other creators might be showing you new Tier 9 recipes and other major changes as their first 1.0 video, I wanted to talk about something a little different, which is some cool secrets that I found while playing. Now, this video is coming out as soon as it's allowed to, so it's possible that some of these secrets won't be so secret anymore, but I promise you that several days ago, I was very excited when I learned all of these things.
Initiating project assembly.
Number 1. A console version might be coming. I decided to look at the updated credits in Satisfactory and found an interesting section, which was about a console port. The console port is credited to Fish Labs, which did the console port for Valheim, another game published by Coffee Stain. Valheim is only available on Xbox in addition to Windows, so it's probably safe to assume for now that Satisfactory will only be on Xbox, at least at first. Of all these secrets, I wouldn't be surprised if this one is announced on release, so maybe you all already know this. Number 2. There is a Blueprint Designer Mark III. We already heard about the Blueprint Designer Mark II in last week's video, which has a 5x5 grid instead of the 4x4 grid found on the default one. But there's also a Mark III, which features a 6x6 grid. They clearly wanted to keep this a secret from us to build up more hype. This means that blueprints have much higher potential now, and can be much larger. But I wouldn't count on them getting any bigger than this though, don't hold out for a Mark IV. That said, volume is a pretty crazy thing, and the difference between Mark I and Mark II is 64 cubic meters versus 125. Meanwhile, the Mark III is 216 cubic meters. I can't wait to see what crazy contraptions people can build with all of this space, but that is 2 extra constructors you can add to a blueprinted production line, so it should save time even if you're not particularly creative with it. The real puzzle to solve will be making use of all that extra vertical space. However, you'll be waiting a long time to get this tool, as you might expect. It's not available until Tier 9, so you won't be using this until essentially the end of the game. The Blueprint Designer Mark II, however, is unlocked during Tier 6, which is the same tier that you get trains and Mark II pipes. Number 3. We have portals now.
You have finally built a portal. Perhaps now your progress won't be as slow.
I knew they were holding something cool out on us, and as a lot of people predicted and asked for, it's teleportation. The Portal Gate is a super late game item unlocked in Tier 9 that simply lets you teleport between 2 points. There are quite a few conditions that balance this though, which isn't surprising since Satisfactory's items and tools are often balanced to make them a challenge or a puzzle. First of all, this is one of the last buildings you can create in the game, and it also burns fuel to keep the portal open, and will continue burning that fuel to keep the portal open even when you're not actively using it. The fuel itself is another late game item, the Singularity Cell. It's made in the manufacturer from nuclear pasta, dark matter crystals, iron plates, and concrete, and is also one of the ingredients for Fixonium. As a reminder, dark matter crystals are made in the particle accelerator with diamonds and dark matter residue. You need to make a main portal and a satellite portal. It takes a few seconds to link, and it can be relinked to a different portal of the opposite type from the menu. Luckily, only the main portal needs to be powered, so this will likely be the one at your main base. While running, it burns 2 singularity cells per minute, so you're going to need to make a lot of them. And if the portal loses power, you'll need to go through the reconnection process again. Also make sure your power grid is beefed up, because these portals take a lot of power, and the power spike scales with the teleportation distance. Basically, you'll need a reliable production line to keep your portals powered, or you'll need to manually add and remove singularity cells whenever you're planning on using the portal. Number 4. You can flush things down the toilet. The toilet in the hub isn't just flushable for fun, it actually has an inventory slot allowing you to flush items down it. This doesn't do anything that you can't already do from your inventory, but it is funny. Notably, the sign above the toilet says you're not allowed to flush things like slugs and nuclear waste. But I tried it, and you can, with no consequences. I was hoping there would be a funny voice line from Ada reprimanding me for being wasteful, but unfortunately not. While you're in the hub, you should also take the time to look at some of the additional details that have been added, as there are some new decorations with funny details. Sadly, the coffee machine isn't functional even when you're holding a cup, but I guess the cup never really empties, so maybe that's fine. Number 5. Performance seems pretty similar. So this is maybe less of a secret and more of just a semi-disappointing fact. Performance, at least in my preview version of 1.0, seems not too different than Update 8. For reference, I'm playing at 1440p, ultra settings, and global illumination set to medium. The ultra preset also sets NVIDIA DLSS at balanced. Comparing my endgame save on both Update 8 and 1.0, I was getting between 60 and 125 frames per second in similar areas. There is still a lot of variance depending on what you're looking at, and a lot of small stutters. However, there were fewer stutters in 1.0. Both anecdotally and according to the 1% low frame rate counter on my benchmark run, 1.0 was a fair bit smoother, even though the average frame rate was not higher. I'll still take this as a win. Moving to a brand new world with nothing in it, I was getting a pretty steady 100 frames per second without a lot of variance. When I switched to 1080p and the medium preset, performance in my factory was more between 90 to 145 frames per second, and I got a fairly steady 170 in a brand new world with nothing in it. I know there are a ton of optimizations in 1.0, so I'm curious if there are other areas that performance will increase in ways that I maybe haven't experienced yet, or if there will be more performance upgrades in the near future. Number 6, bonus secret, lasers hurt. Okay, they don't actually deal damage to you, but much like a vehicle, lasers from the alien power augmenter will make you ragdoll and will launch you back quite a ways. However, it doesn't seem like fall damage gets applied, even if you do fall. Well, those are some fun secrets that I discovered while playing Satisfactory 1.0 that Coffee Stain didn't tell us about. I'm sure there are even more, so if you find any more fun secrets, go ahead and let me know in the comments. And I'll be making some more news and guide videos around 1.0, so stay tuned for those. And of course, have fun with your own 1.0 game.